Hello YouTube, welcome to another Platanoz tutorials. I'm Platanoz and this should be part 3 of the Rig and Rig series. And today we're just gonna learn how to do the mouth. Let me zoom in real quick just to show you what we're doing. So if we click on this mouth control and we slide it, you see we have a different set of sprites, pre-animated sprites that I've made in After Effects, and that's gonna animate the mouth. So today we're gonna learn how to make that control, basically. Alright, so if you've downloaded the project file, and if you open up Rig Part 3, you should be able to have this exact same, composition. So, if you go over here on the drop-down menu and you go Rig Along Project, right? And you open up Main Rig, you should have this. Hold on a sec. Alright, so you should have this exact same composition and you should be able to follow along basically. Alright, so let's just dig right in. Let's open up our head here in the composition, and let's open up the mouth and I'll show you what I've done. What have I done? So anyway, as you can see here, I've made sprites of the mouth, basically, of Rig's mouth, using this image as reference, and it's all made in After Effects, all made with shape layers and the pen tool. So everything is interchangeable, everything is customizable. What I mean by that is that you can change the shape or change whatever you're not happy with. Let's say you want it to look like this and be green for some reason, because he's an alien, right? That's gonna immediately update here in the mouth layer. Okay, it's not showing up right now because I have the time frame up on, but if you take this off, you're gonna see it's gonna show up. I don't know why it's not showing up. It's always when you're trying to show people in the tutorial when things go wrong. You know what? Let's just hit time remap. Yeah, let's see what's wrong with this thing. No, nothing's wrong. Everything's alright. But you see how it immediately updates over here, right? So let's just go down to 0. And you know what? Let's select a new null here. Create a new null. And let's name this lip sync. Okay, and we're gonna open up lip sync, and we're gonna create a slider control. We're gonna go to our expression controls and slide a slider control, pun intended, over here. And if you click Alt left mouse click on this clock, you're gonna see it turns red, and that means it's ready for a new expression. So we're gonna drag this pig whip over here to hold on a sec. Let's select lip sync one more time, and let's rename this lip sync as well, just so we know. We're gonna take this pig whip over here and drag it to the lip sync, and let's divide it by 100. Okay, so that should be able to let's select the lip sync and slide it. That should be able to control what mouths we have. See? Sweet. And the cool thing about this, about the fact that we are working with shape layers in After Effects, is that we can always go back in here to the mouth layer and change whatever we want. If you want to add a new mouth or delete another one, or change whatever you want. Let's see, for instance, let's change the shape of this real quick. Okay, let's change something quickly. Okay, so let's turn this green. Alright, just for the example's sake. And you're gonna see that immediately when we animate the mouth here, it's gonna update. Okay, now it's green. So the same goes if you wanna create a new mouth. Okay, so you know what, let's just do a new mouth real quick. So with the pen tool, with G on your keyboard, right, we can do here something of a smile. Okay, so let's take the fill off, this neon green fill off, and let's give it like a 3 of a stroke, and let's put it to black, and let's make it 1 frame long. Okay, so if you press Alt close bracket on your keyboard, it cuts it down, okay, to where your line is. So let's do that again, but this time it's Alt open bracket, and that's gonna close it down on the other side. So let's drag it to the end of, you know, all the composition here, so that every new frame is a new mouth. Okay, it's a sequence. So if you wanted to add a new mouth, you can go to the end and create whatever mouth you want. Let's give him a smile, even though Rick never usually smiles like this pedestrian cartoony smile, but you know, it's just for the example's sake. So let's go to the lip sync, and if we go all the way to the end, we're gonna see our new mouth is added already. So that's what's so cool about this. But anyway, let's go over to our keyframes here, okay, and key the slider to 0. Alright, and then on the next frame, you know what, let's drag this frame all the way to the beginning, and that's gonna be 0. And then on the next frame, let's put it to 100. Alright, it doesn't matter that the mouth disappears, don't worry about that. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to our joystick and sliders plugin, which you should already have. If you're watching this series from the beginning, you should know by now that you need the joystick and sliders and the Duic plugins. So let's just go right here and create a new slider and call it mouth control. Alright, so now that we have that, and you may be wondering, oh, why are you making 2 controllers? That seems like a waste of time. It's because with this mouth control, we're going to be able to put it in our main composition. So we're going to be able to move it, you know, if we select it first, of course. We're going to be able to move it to the main composition, okay? And we're going to color it cyan, and let's drop its anchor point to the middle, change the scale a little bit, and let's bring it down here. Alright, in keeping with this T shape over here. So this is gonna be our mouth control, but you know, anybody opening the file is not gonna know. You know, they're gonna be like, what is this? What is happening? They're gonna be confused. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna type mouth in our whatever font you want. I'm choosing this font, but you know, you can choose whatever font you want, and name it mouth, of course, and bring it down to where the controller is. And that way, whoever's opening the file, an animator, your friend, whomever, you know, whomever you're gonna rig this for, they know that this is the mouth control. Alright, so set it up as a guide layer as well, so it won't show up in the render. And I believe that's it, guys. We're done with the mouth control, really. See? Now you're able to change all the mouths. Again, if you need a new mouth, you can go over to the head, to the mouth composition, open it up, and then just create your new mouth, okay? And if you're not a fan of the pen tool and shape layers in After Effects, you can actually draw it in Photoshop, okay? And or any drawing software, really. You can draw that, save it as a PNG, JPEG, whatever, and then import it into After Effects and bring it to the composition. So it is very versatile, you know. Alright, so now that we were taking care of the mouth control here, I believe we can actually do some of the torso, okay? So let's unhide some of the layers here that I have of the torso, because of course I already have you know, the shape layers done, you know, saving you time, because really you don't want to sit here and make all these shape layers with me. That's boring. So I already have this pre-made, you know, nothing's rigged, so it's just the shape layers. So you know what, let's select the torso. let's see real quick. Where is the... let's put no mask. Okay, so this is the torso right here. And as you can see, the lab coat is going through the legs. But that's very fixable. I already have a mask made. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate it later and bring it down. I believe I've already done that already. Jeez, alright. Yeah, I already did that, but let's not worry about that right now, okay? For right now, let's worry about the rigging. So let's hide everything else and just worry about the torso, okay? So, what am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, puppet tool. Holy crap, I already did the puppets as well? That is not okay. You're supposed to be able to follow along with me. You know what, let's delete them. Because, why not? So let's just delete those puppets. And we're gonna do them again, okay? So select the puppet tool and let's go down to the neck, shoulder. Let's create for both shoulders. And then one for the chest. And you know what, let's do another one and another one, something like that. So it's gonna look a little bit more complicated than the actual finished rig, you know. It's gonna give it a little bit more mobility and blah blah blah. So let's just go to our Duik plugin here and click on bones. And again, the Duik plugin is free, so you have no excuse, okay? You can get it for free, and I'm putting the link down below. I didn't make it, but it's a great plugin. Okay, so now we have those bones created. All right, so let's go down the line and name them all, because naming is awesome. Labeling stuff, really only you know, we label stuff because, you know, it's a lot of layers and a lot of compositions, and we really want to know what's what, you know, what's going on. So let's name these spine 2, I guess. Spine 2. Alright, so the next one is shoulder. Shoulder left, I believe. You know what? Shoulder R. Right? So the right shoulder. Shoulder left. And then the neck. Alright, so now that we have this beautiful bones right here. I believe that's a movie, right? The Beautiful Bones? No, The Lovely Bones. That's a movie. But anyway, let's parent this. Let's parent this, guys. They need parents. So let's pig whip down, okay? And that's gonna parent them. Do the same thing for the neck, and then the spine is gonna be parented to the other spine, and the other spine is gonna be parented to the hip. The hip. All right, so we have this right here, and let's test it out. So that's looking good. And we can just click on it, you know. So yeah, that's looking alright. Not too shabby. But actually, and you're gonna hate me for this, I forgot to add more puppet pins because I'm an idiot. I forgot to add one here and one here. So you know, let's just click those two and add 2 more bones. Alright, if you'll allow me this little mistake. Or alright, and let's reduce the opacity to 50, and let's name it coat and coat tail. I mean, would you call this really a coat? It's some sort of shirt, right? Like a lab coat or something. But whatever, you can name it whatever you want, but for reference sake, let's name it coat, coat tail, parented. Okay, that's going to be parented to the hip, and the coat tail is going to be parented to the coat. So that takes care of the torso, really. And we're only 14 minutes in, so that means we have more time to make like an arm, to rig an arm. Alright, so let's save this, and let's see, what do we have? Because this torso is pretty much done, son. You know what, let's do the arm. Why the hell not? Alright, so let's hide everything else but the arm here. And with the puppet tool, one more time, we're gonna click on the arm. And we're gonna need one for... Again? I already have the puppets? Jesus. Alright, well, you know the drill. I'm not gonna puppet them again, but you make one puppet here for the shoulder, one for the elbow, and one for the wrist. Alright? And that's the basic gist of it. So let's assume that you puppet them along with me. And let's click the bone. And there we go. Now we have shoulder, elbow, and wrist bone. Elbow, elbow, R, and then shoulder, dot R, and wrist, dot R. Sweet. Again, we're gonna parent everything because everything has to be parented always. And let's parent the shoulder to the shoulder because we want... you know what, let me unhide something real quick. All this parenting, it may not make sense to you, or you may be asking why all this parenting is stupid. The idea behind it is that, you know, when I move, for example, the spine, I want that arm to move with it, alright? So it looks more natural, okay? So that's why we're doing all this crazy parenting, alright? Look at all these layers, jeez. That's why I have them hidden on the final ring. So anyway, now that we have the bones, we should be able to make the controller. So let's click on the wrist bone and click on controller. And let's make it green, okay? On this color right here, we're gonna make it green. And we're gonna create it. And it should look something like that. That little... bastard. Maybe that's a little harsh. That little green controller, alright? So we're gonna name it hand control. What is this, Game of Thrones? You little bastard. Jon Snow. Anyway, we have this hand controller here. And let's change the color. Let's change it to green. So that we have this whole group here and we know what's what. Alright? So now that we have this, let's select wrist, elbow, shoulder in that order is very important, and then hand control. And we're going to create an IK, and we're going to click on 2-layer IK and gold, create, and that should take care of it, really. So if we click, you know what, let's lock, we should be able to lock the IK hand swapper here and the arm. Alright, so now when we click on it, we're only clicking on the controller. Okay, and the hand is gonna stay there. That's a separate issue that we're gonna fix real quick. So if you click on the controller and you click clockwise, alright, click that off, you should see. There we go. Now let's zoom out and show our work, right? So as you can see, we have a rigged Rick arm. I love saying that. Rick. So, you know, it's stretchy, it's very cartoony, bendy. So, here's where it gets tricky, okay? We're gonna have to parent this hand here. Let's bring it up some, right? And we're gonna have to parent this hand to the controller, so that when it moves, the hand moves with it. Okay? So I believe the hand controller is one of the most complicated ones because there is a lot of attributes to it, okay? We're only 19 minutes in, so I'm just gonna dive right in and try to do a whole arm, okay? Like every attribute of the arm. So let's just do it. Let's do it. So we have the time frame up here, and if we select the controller, we're gonna go to the effects panel, and we're gonna add a slider control, and a checkbox control, and an angle control. Alright, so let's see. This angle control, let's gonna name it hand rotation. The slider is gonna be hand swapper. and the checkbox is gonna be what do you call that? IK hand visibility. Alright, and the reason why we're doing this visibility, the reason why we're doing this is because the controller has an option here to basically disable the IK, right? And it has the option to do a more controlled FK control, I guess. Okay, a little redundant, but it gets the point across. So you know, if you want that freedom, right? With the IK, everything is okay. You know, with the IK, everything is okay because the hand moves with it. You know, and we're gonna get into the. You know what? Let's do everything for the IK first, and then we're gonna get into the FK. All right. So if we go down to, let's see, the hand control, we have that open. Let's click on crap. All right. Reset. Okay, this is a lot. So hand swapper, time remap, that's already good to go. And let me explain to you how it works. So it's the same principle as the mouth control. Okay, it's gonna have different hand sprites already made, and they're all gonna be 1 frame long. And what it's gonna do is just gonna swap between them. And just like the mouth, you can make your own hands, and you can change whatever you want. All right. I've only made a few hands, maybe like 4 or 5, very basic, and I'm leaving it up to you guys to make more hands, you know, as whatever is suitable for you. So, you know, let's go to the main rig here. We have the hands, and what's going to control that is the time remap, okay? So we're going to Alt left click on it, and it's going to bring up the expressions, all right? And if you select the hand control, we're gonna pick whip this time remap here to the hand swapper. All right, so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna divide it by 100. And now that should take care of it, really. See? So as you slide, it's gonna change all the hands. It's very rough right now because I only made 5 hands, so switching between them is gonna be a little bit what do you call that? It's gonna be a little bit rough. But again, you know, you can make your own hands, make it a little smoother, like I did with the mouth, you know, add more frames in there. But I leave that up to you, alright? So now that we have the hand swapper, let's go to the hand rotation, and that's very, very easy. Just click on the rotation, and let's do the same thing. Alt left click, that brings up the rotation parameter, or the expression I should say. Go to hand control, slide it to the hand rotation, and we're not gonna do multiply or divide by 100. We're just gonna leave it as it is, and there you go. Now you have the hand rotation. Alright, sweet. Let's see, what else do we need? We need IK hand visibility. So, and the reason we're doing that, you're gonna find out very, very soon. Okay, so we have the opacity here. We're gonna keyframe it. Let's do the same thing. Alt left click and select the hand control one more time, and we're gonna slide it all the way up to the IK hand visibility. All right, and on this one we're gonna multiply it by 100. So that's the asterisk and then 100, and that's gonna multiply it. Okay. And what that does is, when you select the hand control and you go to the IK hand visibility, you click on it, and that's going to make it visible. You click off, and that's going to make it invisible. Very, very simple. Alright. So, I believe that is it for the IK. Yeah, that is it, fellas. So now I can go into the FK and explain that. So for the FK, we're gonna let's delete this one, and let's duplicate the IK hand, right? And let's name it FK. And we are going to parent it to the wrist. Alright, so that when that FK control let's go down here. When we disable the IK and we take the IK hand visibility off, you know what, let's get rid of that expression for the FK. So if you just press Alt left click, it gets rid of it, okay? For the FK, you know, not for the IK. The IK stays as it is. So we're gonna get rid of just the opacity expression for the FK, alright? And let me show you. See, now when it moves, the FK is gonna move with it, and you can still rotate it, you know, with the same controllers. You're gonna be able to rotate it, and you're gonna be able to switch it around with the same control. So that's very neat, right? But this time, you know, you're gonna be able to control it with FK. So pretty sweet. But now we have one problem. Now, when we select the IK hand visibility, we can still see both hands, and you know, we don't want that. You know, it looks very tacky, unprofessional, and messy. So what we're gonna do is, when we let's select the IK, this one right here. When we click on the disable IK, we want the FK hand to appear. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna go to the opacity of the FK hand. And I apologize if this got way too complicated for you guys. You know, it gets a little bit more complicated the further along we go. But we press Alt, and we're gonna do the same thing. Drag it over, but this time we're gonna drag it over to the disable IK. All right. Now again, we're gonna multiply it by 100, and that's the the basic principle. All right. So when you click it off, it should get rid of the FK hand. Alright, when you click it on, let's see, let's get rid of this hand visibility. So now we have no hands. Alright, so when we click on IK hand, boom, we got it. Click it off, disappears, right? And now we click on disable IK, boom, and the FK hand appears. It's all an illusion, right? Personally, I prefer to work with IK, so I leave this checked off, and then I click on hand visibility. But that's just a personal preference. You know, you can animate with whatever you want. I just leave both ways up there, you know, for maximum efficiency, I guess. But anyway, that takes care of the whole arm. That's gonna be the controls for the whole arm, basically. And you can do the same thing, but for the other arm. All right. So I'm not gonna do it again, because that's repetitive and boring, and you should be able to follow this tutorial along and do it for the other arm, right? So I think that's it. You know, it's been almost a half hour, so I'm gonna stop the video right here, and we're gonna continue on part 4, guys. All right, we're gonna learn how to rig a leg, and making the final adjustments here for the rig. And I believe in part 4 and maybe part 4 we should be able to fully finish this rig. Alright, so I'll see ya.
Click that subscribe button and join the monkey family. Oh, and if you'd like to support the channel, check out my Patreon page. Go ahead, we'll wait.